Hello and welcome to the Sussex by the Sea podcast, a podcast about all things Hastings United. It's episode 27, and in today's show we have head coach Andy Corrigan and his able assistant Skinner-Swain returning from Hastings women's squad, giving us the latest from our most excellent team just before our game at Pagham. Plus, Hastings' own Motti, Rice Seagull, gets an exclusive post-match after we smashed them 6-0. And then there's the returning club director, Pat McCrossan. We talk Hastings, Aggie speaking to Jesus, and Iron Maiden top 5 get in. Enjoy, Hastings fans. And now over to Andy and Jay and the latest from the women's team.
Right, we are joined again after some technical issues by the lovely Andy and Jay of the coaching staff of Hastings women's team. They kindly joined me and are showing me great patience after a technical error. They have not run away and told me to bugger off. So for those that don't know the Hastings setup, women's team, obviously Amy has moved on. Could you guys explain quickly how the setup is now?
Yeah, so I'm currently the head coach. Jay's my assistant. We've got Beth, who's our physio. We've got, from yesterday, our training, we've got a goalkeeping coach now, working with our two keepers called Smithers. And then, of course, you've got Billy that oversees everything, making sure everything's been done on a day-to-day basis that needs to be done.
Mm. I'll say El Presidente before. I'll say it again. I've still got to laugh. Oh, that's good. Okay. So, I mean, what's the feelings in the camp? You're back together. You've had a few games of pre-season. What's your feelings going into this new season?
Excited, to be honest. Really curious question again. With the new players, there's a freshness to it.
Yeah.
A buzz to it. Like training yesterday was brilliant. Amongst one of the best training sessions I feel we've got from the girls, who are just brilliant. So looking forward to the season starting Sunday.
Oh, great stuff. Just on that, before I go over to Jay, how did you get the whole team together for training, or are you having to see some of them and some of them got to train on their own, or how's it work?
So everyone come in yesterday.
Excellent.
We had everyone, down at the pilot fields. Few injuries, have to admit. We've had, so the first week we were allowed to train, we put on 3 sessions.
Yeah.
And looking back, maybe that overdid it a little bit. Yeah, we had a few injuries being looked at last night by our physio. But apart from that, everyone was there collectively, so...
Well, that's nice, everyone together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your thoughts on that, Jay? Sorry to butt in.
No, that's fine. I mean, since coming back, you could just see the hunger for the girls to push on and achieve our goals for this season. The cup competitions aren't anymore, but we've still got the league, which we fully plan on pushing for and hopefully winning.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're talking to those new signings. How do you feel they're settling in?
Yeah, really well. We've got Georgia Tibble, obviously, left-footed player. We've been playing her as a number 10, a cam, essentially, in a sort of a free role. She just gets about the pitch, makes things happen. Real exciting player for the fans to watch as well. Know she'll be a fan favourite. We've got Blair, who's just come in as a goalkeeper. That's created competition for Shana. Because obviously we had 2 keepers at the beginning of the season, and we always wanted 2 keepers.
Mm.
But we lost one. So if Shana ever got injured or anything, it leaves us in a bit of trouble. So now having the second keeper, less worries, to be honest, if something was to happen. And then we've got Holly Carter, who's just come over from Lewis, 16 years old. We've been playing in the middle of the park with Ralph. And, well, for a 16-year-old, she's been brilliant.
Jay?
Yeah, I mean, there's more competition with the three girls that we've brought in have added competition. Like you were saying, Blair, fantastic keeper, real competition for Shana. Tibbs in that free role, wand of a left foot, even though she couldn't score past Andy in training last night. But won't mention that one. And Holly's for 4'2" or whatever she is, one of the smallest players on the pitch. 16 years old, she enough puts it about. You'd throw a brick in the air, she'd head it as well. It's fantastic.
What's your feelings about the team we got with this truncated season? What's your hopes? You're hoping to win it all? Where do you feel we're going to be?
With the cup competitions now gone, we were obviously hoping for a cup as well. We're just focusing on the league now. That's all that's there. But it's what we wanted anyway. I think if you had asked anyone what they want to win at the beginning of the season, it's always going to be the league. Because that's where the majority of your games go towards. So it has to be the league title. That's what we want to win. It's what we set out to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, cheers. And Jay?
Yeah, exactly the same. Aiming to win the league. And also just keep improving on our own performances. So we can improve ahead of next season.
In terms of being able to see you, we're aware that us fans aren't going to be able to come along. But if we could just touch yet again on the commentating that's of the lovely Rice Seagull, who will be commentating on all the women's games, I think. Is that the case?
I believe so.
I believe so, yeah. So at least that's some way us fans of the Hastings team can check it out. But what do we think of Rye?
I think he's absolutely hilarious. He hates interviewing us because he has to do it 50 times. But listening back to his commentary that he did against Sutton United, it was fantastic. It's hard to believe he's 16 years old. It just flows, and it's great exposure for the club at the moment, especially with no fans being allowed into matches. I think it's fantastic, and long may he continue doing it.
Hastings Motti.
Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely roasting me last week, but I'll forgive him.
But yeah, no, you guys, good luck. The next game's Sunday against Pagham.
Yeah.
And we've got a few injuries, have we? So are we expecting any of those to be fit for Sunday, or?
Some of them are a bit. Go on, Andy.
I think they'll be back. A few of them are touch and go, to be honest. But knowing the girls, some of them they'll play.
Have good afternoons, and we'll have to have a chat again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. You take care, guys. Yeah.
All the best, Chris.
There, mate.
Cheers, Chris.
And now over to the personification of Motson himself, the lovely Rice Eagle.
Well, I would say that was a whirlwind, but that was just a blowout. An absolutely dominant display from Hastings United as they trample on Pagham 6-0 in their own backyard. How mean, but how awesome. I am here with Jay Skinner-Swain and Andy Corrigan. I'd rather they stand in alphabetical order, but you don't get everything you want. So, first question will go to Andy. So, I mean, sum up how you're feeling after that triumphant return to form.
Really proud. The girls put in a fantastic display. To be honest, I couldn't ask any more from them. And we move on to next week now.
So, question for you, Jay. Full complement of players used, and 5 different players for 6 goals. You must be absolutely buzzing that the whole team got involved today.
Absolutely over the moon. We also had all the girls get involved in build-up play. Goals came from different areas of the pitch. It wasn't a case of always coming from the same areas. It's really good to see, and it's putting us in a good position for the rest of the season.
Oh, that kind of follows on to my question for Mr. Corrigan. So, obviously, a fantastic win against the side that, prior to kick-off, were top of the table. So, what do you think this will do to restart the momentum of the season that was halted so abruptly by the pandemic?
I think it's just given us a new build of confidence. So, considering the game they gave us before lockdown, they gave us a really, really hard game. And we managed to get a result today with a performance. Really proud.
This question for Jay Skinner-Swain. So, for the next 2 weeks, the U's have got double headers where they play 2 one-hour matches in one location, representing the home and away system. So, how are you preparing for what is basically the equivalent of a full match with extra time? How are you preparing to play these double headers?
Preparation's not going to overly differ to a normal match. It's just a case of making sure that preparation pre-match and after training, so with stretches, etc., is in place, making sure all the girls are injury-free ahead of these 2 double headers.
Well, I'll leave Jay to stroking his ball. And I've been Ryan Siegel. Thank you very much. Good night, Edinburgh.
Over to a very good interview with the wonderful Pat McCrossan as we talk the most awesome Iron Maiden top 5, but also bit of Hastings, bit of Aggie, all good stuff.
So, Pat?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello. Pat, can you hear me?
Very well. Yeah, I can hear you.
The joys of technology. And like a shining light behind you, you look like Jesus.
Shall I get rid of the shining light? Just give me a second.
That's all right. I mean, if you want to be the Messiah.
No, it's still going. Ambiance. We're working on the ambiance.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm just sorting the house out.
Don't you worry, Pat. I thought Chris Agata was Jesus Christ, but clearly it's you, Pat.
Well, I think Jesus Christ reports to Chris Agata.
Very good, sir. Very good. How the devil are you?
Good. Yeah, very good. Busy, as you know, healthcare.
Yeah.
We're seeing the end, but the end is still quite a battle, isn't it? So, it's hard. It's hard for a lot of people. I think everyone was ready to come out of lockdown before Christmas and stay out of lockdown, and they've had another 3 months. And I know a lot of people, it's been hard for them. So hopefully we can now start getting out of this tunnel, can't we? And begin to start seeing people at the pilot field.
Absolutely, Pat. I mean, for being all serious, I mean, I'm desperate to talk top 5 or 6 Iron Maiden here. But in all seriousness, this second lockdown has been a lot worse for a lot of people. So, but as you say, there is a light. There's a small light at the end of the tunnel. So we all just want to get back to normal, don't we? In a safe fashion.
It's brought out a lot of good in a lot of people. I've seen amazing people, working in all kinds of places, supermarkets, people who work for the council, keeping, the roads right, people working on the foreshore, people working on the bin lorries, the nurses, the doctors, the posties, so many people who've just worked flat out through this to keep some, modicum of normality for people. And
yeah,
a lot of them, most, our supporters are them, and so I think when we do get back to the pilot field and we are able to have everyone in the ground, we need to celebrate the fact that we've got such a wonderful set of people in our town.
Yeah. This sounds like an episode of Highway to Heaven. This time, you're such a nice guy, Pat. Yes.
Well, I had the halo. It's
yeah.
It's gone.
Sir, right. I don't know your top 5 or 6. I can't. Where did you decide? What could you cut it down to?
Well, I cut it down to the top 5.
Oh, brilliant!
With one that has to be with a +1 that is always going to be there no matter what. Okay. And then 2 honourable mentions.
Okay, so obviously we want to get across the beauty that is Iron Maiden, and all those Philistines that might laugh, that don't understand the greatness of Iron Maiden. Well, that's who cares about them?
Well, and that you don't understand Maiden if you haven't been to see them.
Well, I've never seen them. I've seen them on telly. I've never actually got. So you could say, I'm a far fan, if you get what I mean.
Blessed are those that understand and yet have not seen.
Yeah,
as they say. So, Iron Maiden started for me very young, really, 17. So
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll go from here. So what we'll do, we're going to go one choice each. You're not going to like my choices. They're very little bit greatest hits, possibly you could say, but that they're there to be criticised. So, and I'm happy to be criticised. So, as you are the guest, would you like to give me your fifth choice, and I'll get it put in the jukebox?
Okay. Well, the fifth choice is probably the song that sprung them into superstardom, really, at the time. It was the title of their third album, and it's The Number of the Beast.
Okie dokie, Number of the Beast. Right, so this is your number 5 choice. This is The Number of the Beast.
Yep.
Him who hath understanding reckon the
But they're awesome. I mean, come on.
It's number
Revelations.
666.
So I'll bring that down a little bit just so that we can talk over it. Great tune. So this tune in particular, was this one of your first album picks, as in album buys?
Well, I mean, the first album of theirs I bought was actually their second album, the Killers album. And I think I bought it at the time because I wanted to, because a lot of my mates were well-hard and they all had, Deep Purple stuff. And
yeah,
I didn't quite get Deep Purple at the time. And I bought this Killers album and really enjoyed it, really liked it. And then The Number of the Beast came on very, very quick afterwards as the next album.
Oh, okay.
And
well, yeah.
There was a double thing with that. I loved the tracks on it. There's not a track on that album that you can't get into. And also it cheesed off my Catholic parents, bless their hearts, because I had a picture of the devil on my wall.
But saying that, well, let me have this mouthful of tea. My cousin up in the northeast, because as I said, my family up originally from Sunderland, and she was a massive Maiden head, massive. And so I'm like this, God, she was older than me. So I'm 46. She's about 50. She'll be 50 now. So when I was about 9 or 10, she was prime Maiden time.
Right.
And she had all the artwork. She had all over her room, and I used to stay in there, and I got nightmares from it, from all the different imagery.
Yeah.
But what I did like to do was to thumb through her albums, because there tend to be some titillation amongst those albums. They were quite racy, and I didn't know why I was looking through them at the time. I mean, I've since discovered why I was doing that, but yeah. Not Maiden, but she had all sorts of heavy metal, all sort of English heavy metal. So there was lots of racy pictures. So that's Number of the Beast.
Yeah.
A wonderful track. So we're going to go to my number 5. It's off the Power. It's the Power Slave album. Yeah, and it's called, funnily enough, Power Slave.
Good choice.
Honestly, you don't think it's... Oh, you like this one? Ah, okay.
It's a song about the slaves that had to be attached to the pharaohs. So the thing was when the pharaohs died, the slaves were murdered because they had to go into the next land with the pharaoh. So they were called power slaves.
Do you know what? I didn't know that. There's a few things I know about Iron Maiden, but particularly this track, I didn't know. I'm just a bit like, this.
It's got the Maiden gallop all over it.
Yeah, and just he just rules, man. He just his voice. The guy is a ridiculous showman.
Yes, but the other thing is the guitars. They have about 3 guitarists all working together.
Yeah.
To produce such a great sound, and they can.
Yeah, it sets it up for him, doesn't it? I mean, yes, I mean, he's only as good as his band, and the band is bloody great. So So
yes, power slave. The chorus is "Tell me why I have to be a power slave. I don't want to die. I'm a god. Why can't I live on?"
There's only one true God.
It's all about slaves and how they have to die with their master.
Well, if we win the league, will we have to? Well, if Aggie ever dies, will we have to all? Would the same thing happen to us?
No, I'm not that invested. I love the guy, but come on.
Yeah, have you seen his beard? He's tremendous. Anyway,
so it's a great choice, power slave.
Thank you. Well, I'd rate Pat McCrossan's number 4, please.
So my number 4, I tossed up actually, and put number 4 as Wasted Years. Well, don't waste your time worrying about the wasted years. That's a great line.
Yeah. And as always, it's always strong at the start.
Great intro. Dave Murray, I think.
So I was always a massive fan of Thin Lizzy as well. And there's a few of those early Maiden that you wouldn't be too far off some of the good Thin Lizzy, but
yeah, this has got a bit of a Lizzy kind of lilt to it, hasn't it? Time album, I think, which was towards the end of the 80s.
You are correct, sir.
Just before Dickinson, the hiatus, with Dickinson wasn't long after that, in the early 90s. So, love this song.
What do you think of those years when Dickinson wasn't there?
Their albums didn't sell very well. They weren't as appealing. The thing was Bruce had a specific siren wail to his voice.
Yeah.
But that does not take anything away from Blaze Bayley, who has an incredible voice too, in a very different way. So they did have a couple of things with Blaze Bayley that I thought they did really well. But the albums generally didn't seem to do so well. And I think musically there's a reason for that as well, because Adrian Smith had left. And his dimension of guitar is very much, he can do a harmonic rhythm to whatever Dave Murray plays. He can do a harmony at the same time. So I think it was a double-edged sword there, losing the two of them. But they still produced some good stuff. Tail Gunner, I think, was one of them. But Doctor, they did a cover of, I think it's Def Leppard, the original. And Doctor, I just love Doctor. So any top 5, it's not going to be in it because it's top 5 plus 10. Yeah. No, fair. You're a mega fan. I mean, I'm a fan, but I bow to your knowledge, Pat. Right, that's number 4, wasn't it, sir? Right. So now my number 4 is The Trooper. Oh, well done. That was my number 1.
Oh, is it? Oh, you're number 1. Oh, sorry, chap. Hang on.
It's all right. I've got.
We can have a double listen then.
Up my sleeve, haven't I?
Oh, come on. So obviously, we all know sort of Charger of Light Brigade kind of vibe to this.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Who couldn't rock out to this? For fuck's sake. Oh, sorry. For something's sake.
For heaven's sake, yeah.
For heaven's sake, sorry.
Again, it's
for Aggie's sake.
Gallop.
Yeah.
It's got that great gallop to the music, And that bit with the guitars, that harmony with Dave Murray and Adrian Smith working off each other. It's just an amazing sound. And now, of course, they have 3 guitarists. They have Yannick Gers, 3 real beast guitarists.
Yeah,
it sounds even better live now.
I'm going to have to see him live. I mean, I've had loads of kids and all sorts of other excuses that I'm throwing out at you, Pat. I haven't seen them. But I will if it is at all possible. Have they got any live dates Have they started talking about that yet?
Well, they're in the middle of the Legacy of the Beast tour, which has been put on hold now since 2020. They've done most of the British gigs, but there's a cheeky edition in Belfast, but there's also I think it's either the Download Festival or Donington they're doing. So,
all right.
But the European leg has been postponed to 2022.
Oh, okay.
So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
if you want to come with me.
But bloody hell, cheeky little visit to Europe. And some Iron Maiden.
Antwerp is quite accessible, and that's a good venue as well. So,
well, definitely, I'll hold you to that one, Pat.
Okay.
And I nicked your number one. I'm sorry, mate. Just a rock out to that bit more. You can listen to some more in a minute. Hang on. Right. So, Pat, what is your song choice for your number 3?
Number 3, again, because it has such a brilliant start, and then followed by the Maiden gallop all over the place, is Phantom of the Opera.
Love that album cover. Oh, yeah. I know this one, yeah. I mean, they must talk about them live, Pat. I mean, what's it like, mate? How can I forget this one? Jesus.
When I first saw them, when I was in 1982,
yeah,
I remember because then you just had some shouty bloke come on the stage and saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome?" And when he came on the stage, I was proper shaking with anticipation, nerves, and oh my God, Maiden coming on, you know. And 2017, so quite a considerable time later, 4 years ago now, they're at the O2. And of course, the sign that Maiden are coming on the stage is when Dr. Doctor plays over the tannoy. And I felt exactly the same. I was shaking. I was like, they're coming on.
Yeah.
So excited, like a kid.
Yeah.
Because the minute they come on, it's just energy, galloping great music, Bruce leaping about all over the place. And before you know it, it's finished.
Yeah.
You know, they have such brave steps. They have giant eddies breathing fire, and this last tour they had a 3/4 size Spitfire flying over the stage.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, it was not a real one, but you know, it didn't look like it. And so it's a bit of a stage show as well. So from the first time I saw them to the last time I've seen them, never fails to take my breath away.
Yeah. No, great. I love this one. Right. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, and then suddenly it just... Where we're going with that?
Yeah.
It's almost like they were doing it in the studio and they thought we need a rest from the high speed stuff. So let's
have a little nap.
Yeah. For a bit.
Yeah. Right, and let's go. So, where are we up to? I'm on my number 3. And it's Be Quick or Be Dead.
Yeah, good choice.
Oh, thank you. Well,
honestly, this is going to be a video of Pat bobbling his head.
Yeah, I know. I remember this. I think there's something about this with it was kind of there was like Robert Maxwell. There was something about Robert Maxwell with this one, like but there was some political scandals going on, and it was around the time of the Robert Maxwell one.
I think you're right, Chris. Because a lot of Maiden songs make a point about something.
Oh yeah,
either historical, or if there's something really major going on around the time they write the song, then it'll be that. But I think you're right. a lot of their stuff is, historical. The Egyptian power slaves, and the latest album is the Mayan culture.
Oh, right.
So Book of Souls is all about the Mayan culture, and they've kind of brought Eddie up through the years and through the civilizations, if you like. But this, I'm sure you're right.
I just remember around the time when he was the video. It was around that time, and they were banging on about. I mean, obviously Robert Maxwell, absolute douchebag that he was, but allegedly fell off a boat.
Fell off his yacht, didn't he?
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
It's a huge yacht. You wonder why someone would be able to fall off that.
Yeah. Oh,
but,
actually, because he used to own Oxford. I don't know if you remember this, Pat.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And he wanted to own another club as well, but they wouldn't let him.
Yeah, wasn't it Derby?
I think so.
It might have been Derby, yeah. Well, what was funny was I went along to watch QPR versus Oxford in the League Cup final, which was in 80... Oh, God, I think it's 86. And
wow.
One of the signs in the crowd, because Oxford was sponsored by Wang, W-A-N-G, right? And one of the QPR fans had written a sign, Oxford are Wangers. I've never forgotten it.
Well, when you're going to get to a cup final, you've got to, embrace the moment.
Well, crap, and lost 3-0. But anyway. And on that sour note, be crap or be QPR is the real song here. Anyway, now we go to Pat's number 2, and that will be what, Pat?
Okay, so number 2, again, a good maiden gallop, bit Churchillian, Aces High. I think we start off with Winnie. The album starts off with Winston, and then it goes straight into Aces High.
See, I was tempted by 2 minutes to midnight. I thought I'm going to choose that. No, I didn't. Oh, see, well, this to me is very Thin Lizzy. You think this very Thin Lizzy? This when they're going off on one.
It's Thin Lizzy with attitude.
Oh yeah.
With a bit more aggression.
Oh yeah, that Thin Lizzy. I love them. I love Thin Lizzy, but yeah, no, Iron Maiden. There's a bit more balls to this. So yeah, I'm liking this.
Yeah,
I'm liking this.
It's not a proper tune.
You can imagine he's up there. He's got tight jeans on. He's posturing.
Oh yeah.
There's probably a fist in the air.
He's usually waving something as well. Although Aces High, he wears a Biggles mask. Wears a Biggles hat.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
all
with a pair
right.
of goggles on the top. Yeah, quite often does that. But yeah. The man's just full of energy,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Jesus.
He brews beer. He flies planes.
I was going to say he flies planes. Did he do one of the tours? Didn't he? Yeah, didn't he fly him on tour once?
Yeah, twice. The first tour was in a 757, and the second tour he flew a 747 all the way around the world.
It's amazing.
And then in between tours, he actually does commercial flying. So he waved up there one day, and it says, "This is your pilot, Bruce Dickinson, speaking." So,
well, what an honour!
Brewery. He developed the Trooper beer with Robinson's Brewery.
I didn't know that. I did not know that, Pat. So that you've got probably 100 cans of that in your house?
I've probably got about 2 cans because it's quite a strong taste for me, but it's okay. But they've got loads of beers now.
Are you saying Bruce Dickinson has developed a gopping beer? Can I quote you on that?
I never said that at all, but he's developed about 5 or 6 with Robinson's Brewery. There's one called Hallowed.
Yeah.
Which is like a Belgian sort of Trappist sort of beer. There's one called oh gosh, Ice and Fire or something, or Fire and Ice. I can't remember.
All right. I'll have to look into that.
3 or 4.
Okay, Robinson. Where's that based? Is that Midlands or where's that brewery?
I've no idea, but you can buy them in the shops. You can get Trooper in Sainsbury's.
There you go. I'll have to taste that.
I think we should have it at the Pilot Bar, really, but you know.
Well, without doubt. Without doubt. Get rid of that Carling. Get Carling out. Get rid of that rubbish. Anyway, I shouldn't say anything about the bar. Sam will kill me. Right.
Will kill me.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so loving Aces High. Right, my number 2. And, I mean, I'm a massive fan of the film. Anyway, Where Eagles Dare.
This was off the Peace of Mind album, if I remember.
You are correct, sir. 1983.
So that was Nico McBrain, the drummer's first album.
I'm loving this song. And how can you? I mean, one of my massive bugbears, Pat, right, is that particularly gigs these days, yeah, you'll get a lot of people will just stand there with their poxy mobile phones, right, and just stand and watch, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have a bop, right? And it'd be like, well, I don't mind people doing that for a little bit, yeah? But for the entire gig, it's like, come on, like, you know, this music's there to be danced to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or at least nutting people to. Do you know what I mean? Or moshing.
Well, last time I went, my friend Roy came with me, and I think because we're a lot older, we weren't in the mosh pit this time.
Yeah.
When you get to 56, you know, you don't go in the mosh pit anymore.
Yeah.
But we're dancing up in the aisles, you know. Everybody up there was dancing.
Yeah, you can't.
Because you can't help it. The mosh pit was fun when I was younger.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure there was some blood and tears.
Blood, there was a lot of beer everywhere, you know.
That's the problem. Anyone that came in with a beer, to any mosh pit I've ever been there, you're wearing the beer. You know, but no one minds. I mean, there's no issues, but... Right, anyway, that's mine. So, thank you, sir. So we kind of know your number one's the Trooper.
Substitute time.
Ah, okay, late substitution. It's...
Because we're already said that Dr. Doctor is beyond the top 5. So my top one then would be a song that I taught my daughter Stephanie when she was quite young.
Okay.
And singing it used to scare the pair of us. It's called Fear of the Dark. And it just, some of the words are quite chilling. In fact, it says, I have a constant fear that someone's always near.
Oh, Jesus.
Fear of the dark. I have a phobia that someone's always there. And it's, or something's always there.
Yeah, well, I'm just to thank you for teaching her this song.
Well, it's probably the main one she knows, although I think she knows Trooper and Number of the Beast, but she pretty much knows this word for word. We used to sing this on away matches as well, on the way. Like you do.
Well, why not? Nice.
Heritage gets out Peter Gabriel. I get out Iron Maiden.
Yeah. It's all good, though.
Yeah.
That's a nice acoustic-y waiting for it to begin.
It starts off very, very nice and relaxed, and it lulls you into this false sense of security. It's like, oh, they've done a slow one. You know, let's get up and have a slow dance.
Yeah. And then, bang!
It's so soft, I can't even hear it.
Yeah, no, I'll bring it up.
Sometimes feel a little strange, a little anxious when it's dark.
Right, am I going to have nightmares now?
Yeah.
Fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something.
Oh, nice.
Fear of the dark.
So what this was off... This 92, this one, yeah?
Yeah. Fear of the Dark album.
was always there.
Go. So, I mean, that one is a bit more sentimental to me, just simply because, you know, kind of Steph sings it with me. And my other two, I think they understand that I'm a bit of a nutter about Maiden. You'd have to ask them if they like any of the ones. I think probably not. But it was really hard to choose, and it's strange because Dickinson, I mean, I can't say enough about the man, but yet my overall favourite was actually sung by Blaze Bayley. That's why we used Doctor Doctor at the pilot field just before the players are coming in the tunnel, because it starts slow and then starts ramping and ramping and ramping and ramping.
Well, what I'll tell you to do, I'll do my number one and then we'll finish it on a bit of Doctor Doctor. What about that?
Okay.
Yeah, right, so well, my number one. Okay, you might tell me off now. It's Run to the Hills. So,
well, it's in my honourable mentions.
It's just something you sing all that. Once it gets going. I mean, obviously there's a big message behind this song. You know, it's got about the colonisation of America. But equally, it's also a good, you know, just you've been giving it sort of shouting out, singing in the shower.
Again, it's another Maiden history lesson, you know, just like they did with Power Slave, like they did with, you know, Book of Souls. You know, a lot of their songs are a little history lesson somewhere in them.
Absolutely. You obviously we have to hear the chorus.
They don't play it live as often as they should do, really.
Yep. But the actual song itself, it's like it's a great. Well, I don't mean it that way, but there's a strong message there. But just you know, it's got a special place for me. I've always loved this song. Well.
But this is a great choice.
Yeah,
good choice.
I love this tune, and that's it. Well, that's my number one. So what we're going to do? We're going to play to finish it off. This is Pat's honourable greatest mention, and it is Doctor Doctor, which some of us may have heard at the pilot field. And it's not Doctor Doctor by
no, the Maiden.
Or Thompson Twins.
No. Oh, God, no. Can't you see I'm burning? Yeah.
To be fair, I have got that on vinyl. That's bad, isn't it?
I've got the Osmonds, The Plan.
Have you? That's fairly brutal, that is. Hang on. So this is Doctor Doctor.
Yeah. So the idea is that, you know, it builds up and builds up. Then by the time, you know, the players are coming into the tunnel, people are feeling a little bit more, you know, right, let's do this.
Well, what do you know what Aggie and the rest of them are into music-wise? I mean, do they ever give you comments about your music choices?
Jack Dixon is very, very supportive, but also will tell me if he thinks we should change a track, or quite often asks for songs for the warm-up.
Oh, right, yeah.
So very varied. I mean, Jack's also the DJ on the coach. Quite often he brings this massive sound box with him. So, but they're all a musical lot.
Yeah. I've got actually.
But, you know.
Jack Dixon's going to come on the podcast in about a month or so. He said he'd come on. It should be fairly entertaining and informative. Yeah, no. Tidy haircut as well. Fantastic footballer.
I remember, I think it was his first team debut, if I remember.
Yeah.
Up against Chelmsford City.
All right.
Oh, that's some years ago now. Chelmsford were near the top, and we were struggling near the bottom. Right at the Premier it was. And we held them. We held them to a 1-1 draw, I think it was.
Yeah.
So Jack and 2 other youngsters, they were brought into the team because there was omissions and people sick, and so they were thrown in, these 3 youngsters, and they played the game of their lives.
Wow. So, and what year was that, Pat?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
2008, 9, something like that.
Oh, 2008-9, okay. Well, Pat, thank you very much for this. It's always an honour talking to you, sir.
Likewise.
Thank you. We can't leave this without a little mention for your honourable Leeds. I wish you to espouse the greatness of Leeds to us.
Well, do you know what? Leeds are just a joy to watch, and they're a nightmare to watch. But they're entertaining every time they play. They just keep going forward. They sometimes all run forward and forget to leave somebody back, but that's okay. We'll keep going forward until we get what we want. And they've got a lovely style of passing. I see a lot of their style in Hastings, although Chris does leave people at the back when we go forward. Bielsa doesn't seem to remember to do that often. But, you know, so I'm lucky. My big boys team and the team I love, Hastings, play lovely, attractive football. What more could you want?
Absolutely. Well, Pat, have a fabulous evening, and I hope to see you. Whenever we get back.
Yeah. Let's hope that's all. Yeah, that's all soon. You know, hang in there, folks. We'll all be back.
Cheers, Pat. Anyway, you take care, fella.
Take care, fella. All the best.
Yeah. See you then. Bye.
That's it for another episode, Hastings fans. As ever, I ask if you want to give feedback or input, please email me on hufcpod@gmail.com or on Twitter @hufcpodcast. You can see regular updates on possible interviews and segments, and this is all interactive on the HUSupporters.club webpage. We would sure love some visits. It's a really great untapped resource. Also, we've got the Sussex by the Sea YouTube, which is chock full of videos from many of the episodes. Please get over there and pop a comment or 2, a like and a share, but definitely subscribe, it's all free. All that's left me to say is, I've been your host Chris Laverick. Hope you have a good couple of weeks, and see you on stilts outside the pilot field.